Okay. All right. So let me double check and make sure everything is up on the Facebook page, and then we'll get started.
Sure.
Okay, we're ready. All right. So thank you for joining us here today on Kay's Collab Corner. I just want to ask you to share a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself to everyone who might be watching.
Thank you so much for having me here today, first of all. So, my name is Sana Pirzada. I'm basically a lawyer, and I turned to writing about 9 years ago. I am basically a human rights lawyer, but I was absolutely passionate about Victorian Gothic fiction. I grew up in the UK, and that passion drove me to write 5 books. I've recently just published my 5th book, Tainted Whispers of Eden. So, yes, I'm a lawyer turned writer in a nutshell.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so thank you for joining us. This is our second Authors Day. The first one we had was on January. And if you want to tell us or show us or discuss your book that you wrote so that we can see a little bit more about it. I know that it has been featured on the page. We actually did your feature sometime earlier this month, and it has a beautiful cover. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So I'll just show this to the audience. So this is the latest book. It's called Tainted Whispers of Eden, and so basically, the first couple of books were pure Victorian Gothic fiction. But then, because I am a lawyer at the end of the day, I brought in some legal aspects into my third book, Naomi Byron. And in this one is centered around a criminal libel trial at the Old Bailey in 1894. Now, because I'm based in Pakistan, my books are more sort of multicultural fiction, and this book is narrated by somebody who happens to be an Indian Muslim woman in Bombay in 1894. She travels to England and she lives at the abode of this beautiful woman, Shirley Lester, who is originally American, and she's married to an an Englishman. And then there are just some horror aspects as well to the book. There are some mysteries that Zarina, the protagonist, unravels. And that sort of takes her to the Old Bailey. And she becomes at the center of this criminal libel trial. So, in one of my previous books, I had covered a murder trial, and I thought I would do something a little more interesting this time, being inspired by all the defamation trials that were happening all over the world. And so, yeah, so that's at the heart of this book in a nutshell. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get started on your writing process? Like when did you decide that writing was your heart?
So, basically, I have been writing since I was a teenager, but of course, when you're much younger, you don't have that level of confidence to publish anything. You think you're not good enough, your writing isn't good enough. And then I have been very imaginative and very introverted. So I created all of these characters and I wanted to do something, with all of this going on in my head for years. So eventually, around 10 years ago now, I thought, why not write something? And before writing my debut novel, The Rose Within, I had never even written an article, a fictional article. I mean, I used to write a lot of legal stuff. And it worked out really well. So I think that it was probably because of that imagination that was building up in my head over a period of several decades that it came out on paper and it came out well.
Okay, awesome. So when you start writing a story or a book, like how do you begin? Like what inspires you to get started? And then how do you begin that process?
So what happens is, and I think that this is probably the same with every writer, you get inspired by the circumstances in your own life or the people that you've met either in the past or, something that's happened in the present. It could be something good or it could unfortunately be something tragic.
Right.
And in my case, it's been a combination of different factors, different people in my life who've come and gone, who are still here, and they've inspired me. And circumstances, and sometimes it's also a form of escapism as well. Yeah, so I somehow feel, people ask me, why can't you set any of your books in the modern era? And I just can't do that. I encounter writer's block. I just have to go back into that Victorian England zone that I'm in.
Right.
So yeah, so there are a combination of factors that have inspired me.
So before you start writing, is there any type of research that you do? Like how do you get the correct setting in your mind? You said you write in Victorian settings, so tell us a little bit
A,
about that.
Yeah, a lot of research, Karine. I mean, especially for these legal thrillers, I've had to go back and read statutes from the 19th century. I've had to research case law. I've had to research the actual case proceedings from the Old Bailey's website as well. And then, of course, I've done a lot of reading in terms of the fiction of the era. And so in when we talk about Tainted Whispers, I was inspired by the Oscar Wilde trial. So I had to read up everything about the trial, and the cross examination between the defense lawyer and Wilde, etc. So a lot of research has gone into these books to make them historically and factually accurate. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work.
Okay. So, you said that you are an attorney and that you also like to incorporate scenes from, your career into the book. Like, how is that process? Do you sort of say, okay, this is what's going to happen before you even write it, or do you plot it out? Like, how do you incorporate that?
So initially, I write a chapter by chapter synopsis before doing anything. But of course, once I'm writing the book itself, everything just changes, and then it just changes in terms of what's happening during the day. Something new could happen in my life, and I'll just write that in the book. But yes, so many of the cases that I've actually dealt with have actually inspired me as well, and I have put bits of those as well in this book in particular, because I presently deal a lot with gender-based violence. I deal with sexual harassment. I deal with human trafficking and all sorts of things. So you will find bits of those aspects in this book in particular.
Okay. So, what would you say is your favorite character, or who would you say rather is your favorite character in the book?
So when we talk about Tainted Whisper, so it's this woman over here on the cover page. So this is Shirley Lester. She's the American heroine of the book, and she is my favorite character because I mean, I think I said this in my previous interview with you that you've got on your website as well, that it's hard to find, very genuine, noble, and, exceptional people in this day and age. And I have come across some of those people in my life. And then I thought, why not, you know, create a character based on all of these people, which some of them were related to me, some of them were friends or just people who I've known over the years. And Shirley Lister embodies that noble, genuine, decent spirit that we crave for in this world.
Right, right. So, have you had any struggles in your writing process? I know we all deal with writer's block. Have you dealt with that, and how do you handle it?
Yes, so I've dealt with writer's block. Well, firstly, there have been times when I've tried to write, something in the modern times, and that hasn't worked out. So I've just gone back in the past. But apart from that, what happens is that when you're just monotonously just writing something without taking breaks, without traveling, you're just stuck at home or in a room. It just becomes very difficult for you to focus on things, and many people think that actually the fact that you're stuck in a room means that you'll produce something really good, and that's actually not the case. I would
Right.
actually suggest to every writer that it's best to take breaks and to travel as well during the process of writing, because you come back with fresh ideas, fresh characters as well. So it really does help you. So that's what helped me when I encountered writer's block.
Okay. So what type of advice would you give to other writers out there?
So I'm a self-published author, and I know how difficult it is for those who are self-publishing their own books. But I would say that it has been a very rewarding journey for me, and I don't mean that financially, but I mean that in every other way apart from the financial aspect. And I would say that if you have a passion, just go for it, because suppressing your thoughts, suppressing your emotions is just going to backfire. So if there's something going on in your head, just put it to paper and create something extraordinary.
Right. So how long between writing the book and editing the book did it take to, from the beginning to end to publishing it?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
So how do you just keep yourself motivated through that whole year?
See, it's the characters in the book. When I'm writing something, because I'm very introverted, I my interactions with the characters are almost real, or at least they feel very real for me. So that was something that actually kept me motivated, because I every time I woke up, I thought, okay, now I'm going to write a new chapter, which means an interaction with one of the characters, and especially if it was with my favorite character, that's what motivated me more. So that's what kept me going.
Awesome, awesome. So if you had just one piece of advice just about the editing process, because that, I have to say, that's my biggest weakness. Like I can write for days, but as soon as it gets to the editing process, I'm like, oh my goodness. So what kind of advice would you give for that part of the process?
So, when it comes to editing, you can either hire a professional editor or you can do it yourself. Now, I did it myself when for this fifth book, and I can't tell you how many drafts I've got. I've got an ultimate, I've got a reviewed, I've got a final. I've got hundreds of different names for these different drafts, and again, it's very tiresome. It's very cumbersome. You get really tired, and I would advise everyone that if you can't for any reason hire a professional editor, if you can't pay one, then just ask a friend to
Right.
read through, and that helps as well. I did that as well, but I had to do the bulk of the work myself, which again was tiring, but I had to get it right.
Right, right. So how do you organize, like when you're drafting stuff, there's a sort of a comment that from Megan Russ that says, "Oh, I understand that so many new draft names." So I don't know how everybody else organizes, but I have, I'll save a copy and then save another copy, and pretty soon I have 20 copies of saved documents. I don't know. How's your process?
Yeah, that's exactly what I go through as well. And I find it very hard to find the actual draft at the end. I find it hard to find that manuscript. But yeah, that is exactly what I have gone through as well with most of my books, but especially with this one because it's very, very detailed.
Right.
So yeah.
So is there any type of software that that might be your favorite to utilize that you could sort of just toss out there for us to take a note on?
I don't, unfortunately. I mean, I have occasionally consulted ChatGPT. I won't lie. It does help now and then. But that's about it. I mean, everything else was just original. I mean, it has to be original. So, yeah. And I'm sure that there are so many software, so many different apps that people can now, rely on when it comes to writing. So maybe for my sixth book, I might look into that.
Right. And can you show us your book again? Because your cover is very beautiful. So do you have any pointers on, authors looking to get beautiful covers for their books?
Well, you can always get in touch with the lady who created this. Her name is Jelena Zibert, and she's based in Serbia. She created four of the cover pages for my books. I'm just going to show you this one as
Oh, go
well,
ahead.
The Raven's Call.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this was beautiful, and this one is just simply breathtaking. So, yeah, I was just lucky to have come across her on the internet in 2018, I believe, and so we've been in contact since then. Um, and all of these book covers are original drawings, paintings. So yeah,
Oh. So you said the other book is called what again?
it's called The Raven's Call.
Okay, how about you tell us a little bit about that one? The
Sure.
Raven Call.
Yeah, so The Raven's Call again is a Victorian Gothic fiction, again set in 1899. It's actually a very beautiful story because it has this mixture of, Sherlock Holmes, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and the Agatha Christie mysteries as well. And it's about this detective who receives this anonymous note, and then he goes to this English countryside house to investigate a missing person, and then he comes across a number of characters within that house, and then there's one mystery, uh, and another. And then the focus of that book, of course, is on the Raven and the mystery of the Raven. And then we go back to Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. So people ask me if that inspired me, but only in terms of the title. The story, of course, is completely different. And at the end, it boils down to a very emotional and heartbreaking story. I think if we were to, if you were to ask me which one of my books were the most tragic, it would definitely be The Raven's Call.
Okay, so the Raven's Call is for readers who love to have their hearts broken, I assume.
Oh, yes, definitely. Shattered is probably the word.
Oh man. Okay, so then the other one is probably not a heartbreaker because you didn't describe it. Does it have a happy? Well, you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, no. I'll say this, that the ending of The Tainted Whispers of Eden is, it's a positive one. So yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you want to tell us like where authors or readers can reach you or find your work or your books, like where, a website?
So my books are all available on Amazon.co.uk. The Kindle version is definitely available. The paperbacks are available for some. For the others, they're just in the process of becoming available on the Amazon website. But please go to Amazon.co.uk because for some reason they don't show up on Amazon.com. Yes, and well, if you were in Pakistan, you could go to a bookstore and buy the books. But I know that you're abroad, so you'll probably have to do with the Kindle version for now.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So as soon as we wrap up, I'm going to make sure that we post all of your links, including your books and stuff in the chat. And if there is anything else that you would like the readers to know or the listeners to know, or any, I don't know if there are any questions in the chat, but if anything that you want to say, go ahead and tell us.
So I just want to say, I just want to say this to everybody that, we're all passionate about writing, and I think most of us are self-published. So help other self-published writers. I mean, in this entire journey, there have been many writers, some from America, in fact, who've really helped me. They've gone ahead and written reviews for me. They've encouraged me, and the smallest level of encouragement that you can get from someone means a lot to you.
Right.
And you never know where life might take you. I entered the Ravens Call in a local book award last year in Pakistan, and it got nominated into the category of best English fiction.
Great.
So wonderful things can happen, and I will tell everybody to just go ahead and do what makes them happy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we put all of your links and your stuff in the chat for all of the listeners and watchers to hear. And thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me, Corinne. I'm truly humbled. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. 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 Thank you all. This is Authors Day on Kay's Collab Corner. And right now, we're also celebrating with authors on our page. We just spoke with author Sana Pirzada, and she was kind enough to join us and tell us about her two books. We're also celebrating a giveaway event for the Dragon's Call. I have placed the link in the chat. And if you follow the link, you can sign up and join and follow the steps, and you have the chance to win a free copy of The Dragon's Call, which is a book that I wrote in 2011, 2012. So please feel free to join up and get your signed copy. Now, we're going to have next author Megan Russ. So let me add her in. Hi.
Hey, Kay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That is awesome. So, how about, hold on, let me make sure that I have this thing off. because it tends to ring. How about you tell us today, what your work is that you want to highlight and introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, what I would like to highlight, I am mostly a short story writer, but I am starting to break into novel writing. Um, and I wanted to highlight my debut short story collection and then my novella that I just released.
Okay.
I mostly write dark fantasy, and a little bit of a horror twist to it. Um, which kind of brings me into the short story collection. My original short story collection is called Shadows of the Great Basin. Um, it highlights the desert I live in, which is the northern Nevada Great Basin. Um, I bring some of the local lore and history to life in these like horror type um, short stories. They've kind of been compared to like campfire stories, um, like Goosebumps and Tales from the Crypt. Some reviewers have related the stories in here to those.
Right.
And I took the last story in this one and created my novella Waves of Green. Uh, and I took our little local mascot here in Fallon, Nevada, which is a wave of alfalfa. It's called a green wave. Um, and I thought, okay, wait, what if something lived in the alfalfa to make the alfalfa do the waves and it wasn't just this desert wind? And so I came up with this little monster that haunts our cornfields and our alfalfa fields every 10 years and comes back and, kind of terrorizes our town out in the fields and the farmers and stuff. So I wanted to bring a little bit of people, awareness to people that Nevada isn't just Las Vegas, which is actually like 7 hours away from me. So,
Okay. So, how long have you been writing?
um, I've actually been telling stories and like trying to be a writer since I was like 8 years old. In elementary school, I entered into this like story contest that our library did, and I told this story about a rabbit and a horse that go on an adventure. I like honestly can't remember what the adventure is anymore. I just remember it was a horse and a rabbit. And so
Right.
I won this contest and they published our books and like had them in our little school library. And I thought, oh, I'm good enough to be published in my school. I'm going to write stories and stuff for other people to read. Fast forward, what, 30 years. Uh, and I've published a few things, but I like stepped away from writing right there before COVID. A lot of stuff was happening in my personal life as it was, and I just took a break. Like I couldn't anymore. Like the community just wasn't what I needed it to be. I didn't have the support in my personal life to be writing anymore, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And then however, I found myself after some large life changes and decided, I have a whole different support system. The community is a lot different now, I feel like, more welcoming to new incoming indie authors. Um, and I found a very nice group of women and men that I've made peer friends with and compared work with. And it's made my writing better. I know it's made their writing better. And it's brought us all up in this indie community, I feel like.
Right.
And I've really only been back at it since what, 23. So I spent all last year writing and trying to publish, and I just started back in late 23. So
So, when did you first enter the indie scene?
originally I published this which I will call it, it's like a horrible like second draft fantasy novel uh, back in like 2016 on like Create Space when Amazon had that third party publisher
I
that probably
remember.
nobody remembers.
No, I
um,
remember.
you do remember, yeah.
I do
um,
remember.
and yeah, and I self-published that, and I was, geez, how old was I? Like 18 at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have an editor. I didn't even have like any friends read it really. I read it, and I was like, it's good enough. And I put it out there. It's not like, don't even go bother looking that up. I'm sure it's probably still on Amazon because I don't even have access to that account anymore. But like yeah, and then I published a couple more through that account and then just stopped because I didn't know what I was doing. Obviously, I didn't have any marketing experience. I didn't have peer support. Like I was that introverted writer that just thought if I write something and put it out there, that's good enough. And it's like, no, there's a lot more to it. There is so much more to it that most
Yeah.
people don't realize that like no, you have to be willing to talk to people, you have to be willing to do this type of stuff, like put yourself out
Out
there.
there.
And like I've been pushing some of my peers like because I love one of his writing, and he's so nervous about putting himself out there, and I'm like, you got to, or nobody's gonna hear about you, right?
Right,
So
right. You know, the crazy thing is because I first published, I believe it was like in 2011, and that was when, indie publishing just sort of broke out.
right.
Like there's this one author now who's like she sold millions of copies, Amanda Hawking, and I remember when she first published, like that was when I entered when she was just
Yeah, I do
busting out
recognize
on the
that
scene.
name.
Right. She was like one of my favorite authors at the time. Like she's still, I still love her work. But yeah, back then it was like the Wild West out there. Like you
Oh
pushed
yeah.
your work out there, maybe somebody read it if you got lucky.
If you were lucky, yeah.
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, like Kindle was bare like a new thing. I mean, like so yeah, it's like people were still having to spend money to
Right.
order your book and wait a couple days to get it. And now at least it's at their fingertips if they have a Kindle or an ebook reader. But it's like, yeah,
Right. Right.
it's a little bit easier now.
Right. Were there any other platforms that you published on other than Amazon and CreateSpace?
No, I've only ever used Amazon. I've like dabbled in what is it, draft to digital, D to D, and Ingram Spark. I've just never actually like gotten all the way through the process because I'm just like, I know Amazon, I know the KDP at this point.
Right.
It's what, three easy steps of upload, 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 and I'm good.
Right.
Yeah. Versus,
Right.
yeah, there's a lot to the other ones, and I'm just like, at this, I know like there's my novel that I'm working on for later this year. I really want to probably go with a larger distribution than just Amazon, but I'm not there yet with those
Right.
steps.
Yeah. There are a number of platforms. Some of them are still free. There was Smashwords. I used to publish like the most raunchy little stories on
I
Smashwords.
used
And then pray nobody read them.
Wattpad. Yeah, I mean, I used Wattpad back in the day, the Smashwords. There were like some that were just like forums for just like, what, like fan fiction. I wrote fan fiction back in the day. But
Wattpad.
like, I mean, yeah, some of my original writing, I have this flash drive I found that has some of like my original writing from like when my dad let me use his computer back in the 90s that I saved to like floppy disks originally and stuff. Like now it's on a flash drive, and it's like Pokemon fan fiction and stuff because it was like that's what I knew, right? They tell you to
Right.
write what you know, and that's what I
Right.
knew when I was 10. So but yeah, and so yeah, now I'm writing. I've always been drawn to more the fantasy and stuff, and now as an adult, I like the darker stuff and the more twisted, like fairy tales and stuff. I love the like more
Right.
twisted retellings and stuff that the indie authors are coming out with now.
Right.
Because
I've
yeah,
seen a
I
lot
definitely
of those.
lean more.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the retellings, like the darker twists, like the Peter Pan retellings.
Yeah,
So
yeah, the
have you also looked into the Barnes and Nobles platform?
I have. I don't know too many people using it just yet, so I'm still like hesitant to like get on that one. But yeah, I know. Yeah, that would be a good one because I mean, there's a Barnes and Noble like an hour away from me, so that would be kind of cool to be able to like collaborate with them.
Right, right. So, have you ever had any issues or, with having your books pirated at all? And do you want to say anything about, I mean, because it's an issue. Like I have gone on websites and why is my book here?
I
How
have
did they get
I've
it?
seen I've had somebody tell me that I think it's the one I'm actually putting up for, it's this one that you've actually featured, which I appreciate. I'm actually offering a signed copy to one of our readers today, which
Okay.
the post will be up here in a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I have had a reader say that they saw this one and one of my other ones on one of those sites, and I know it kind of sounds horrible of me. It's like my opinion is I don't want people stealing our work, and it's wrong, but obviously people are doing it. And it's just like, if you're gonna read it, at least go and write a review. like
The
I
least
mean,
you
if you're
could
gonna
do.
steal the work, because I'm not trying. We make what, like 0.03 cents or something from like Kindle, Kindle Unlimited reads or something. So it's like, I'm not out here trying to make a ton of money. Yeah, that'd be great. Isn't that all of our dreams, is to become billionaires and just be able to write,
Right.
right? But if you're gonna pirate it, at least write a review. If you're gonna read it, at least let us know what you thought about it. And
Right.
it's, I mean, the whole them uploading what, like 18 million or whatever books the other day. It's like, I don't even want to know. Like, I'm sure I have books out there, but at this point, it's like, I guess they're out there. There's not much we can do about it, unfortunately.
I mean, sometimes I've only done it once in a while because I get irritated. I go and I'll say, "Oh, my book is over here and it's over here and they're making money and I'm not." Great.
Right? That's what my opinion. It's like, okay, wait, wait, who are they buying it from? And then selling, nope,
Right?
they're not even buying it. They're just making money off of it. Okay.
But I have faith in the readers, right? Like if you know
Yeah.
that someone is an indie author and they're writing because they love writing and they're making pennies, I assume that our readers have good hearts and actually go and find the original and support,
And
right?
that's what I
'Cause
hope. And it's like I've got a stuff your Kindle coming up. I'm offering 3 books on that. It's like, I will, if you're a reader and you want to read something of mine and you can't afford the Kindle edition or the KU edition, come to me and say, "Hey, I really want to read this book." I will give you an e-copy. Like, I'm not
right,
trying to, I have all these ebooks. I will give it to you. Just don't give it to anybody else. Like, send
right,
them to me so I know who I'm giving it to. That's all I want. It's like,
right,
I'll
right,
give you some samples. And then, yeah, then go buy the rest of my books. So, I mean, that's the whole point, right? We get readers to read something, hoping that they will read something else of ours. So it's like, I'm
right,
okay with that. But yeah, I think true indie author supporters are going to go and actually find our work through the legitimate sources. I
right,
The people, I think, reading those pirated books, one, I don't think are actually reading it. I think they're using it for that weird AI meta stuff. Like, I don't feel like real readers go and try to find these free books. But again, I mean, we do see those occasional posts of, I know where you can get so and so's book for free. It's like,
right.
well, I guess there are those people.
You just hope there
But
aren't many of those people,
yeah,
right?
you want to hope that the best in people, right?
Right. So, about your book, like, why don't you tell us sort of a little bit about it, Finding Forgiveness?
Finding Forgiveness. So this is actually my first attempt at writing a novella. This one was supposed to be a short story. It ended up being like 20K long, I think, in the end. Um, it's about a holy knight who failed in his mission and has been disgraced and outcast from his country. So he
Mhm.
has to find a new home, a new path in life after he's dedicated his entire life to one purpose. Uh, Along the way, he finds a halfling. So this is obviously fantasy. Uh, he finds this halfling woman who joins him by hiring him to protect her through this land that they end up arriving at. Some stuff happens, and he ends up saving her life through some different situations, and he finds that hope in the end through great deeds that he was no longer thought he was worthy of doing. um, I won't spoil the ending for you guys and tell you what happens, but I will tell you that this side character of this halfling ended up being everybody's favorite character in this story. um, And I mean, I wrote her to be a likable character, but every single review has said that they loved Sally and how much they loved this witty halfling that joins him on this journey. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, he's the serious one and she's the wise cracking one. So I mean, yeah, I guess that's the more relatable character. But
Okay. So
I know people.
how did you come up with your inspiration for the story?
For this one, so me and my husband play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, more homebrew type style, our own stories. And the characters, Delvin and Sally, are named after characters that we have played in the past. Different characters and different backstories, but I thought it would be fun to kind of bring those characters back to life through my writing. And we've had these tragic backstories that end up having like these hopeful endings. And so I wanted to write a short fantasy story. It was supposed to be submitted to an anthology as a short story. And then, of course, once it went over the word count, I was like, well, this is its own story now. And
Right.
so went with it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I take inspiration from a lot of our games that we play and just kind of the characters that we make up. And then I put them into little stories of their own, which is how I'm writing my novella or my novel that I'm hoping to come out with later this year. It's actually based off of our current homebrew campaign. So
Okay. Do you want to give us a tiny
I
like get
will.
ready or
Um, so there is this fantasy world that we have created where the gods created this world full of magic and monsters and all the fantasy races, and the humans didn't have enough room, and so they started to expand and try to take over everybody else's land, and there was this great magical war that ended up breaking their world. The gods had to put the world back together using magic to pretty much glue the world together, sealing magic away for 3,000 years. And now something dark is starting to leak back into the world, and our heroes are going to do something about it. Uh, our heroes are the first ones we're going to be introduced to are Reed and Raylan, an elf and a human who is hoping, we are hoping, he's not hoping, we are hoping that he, redeems his entire race from the dark things they did in the past by doing these great deeds and proving that, oh no, look, humans aren't evil. Yeah, the humans are all the bad guys in most of my books, FYI. Because as we know, some of the best monsters are the ones that share our face, right?
right?
uh, but yeah, and so actually I have a short story collection coming out on Easter, on 420, that actually kind of introduces my readers to this world through a collection of short stories that are going to kind of hint at the lore of this world, that's actually the title of the collection is Lore.
Okay.
And then it's going to lead into this novel. I keep saying novella because I'm used to writing short stuff. But yeah, it's going to be long. The first draft was almost 100K, and there's a lot of changes I have to do to it. So yeah, so it's going to be
Oh,
probably
that's
a
going to be a
chunker.
joy to edit.
Yeah, yeah. My alpha reader over here though is excited to read it. So
Well, it sounds exciting. I can't wait. I hope I'll get a copy.
hey, I am accepting ARC readers right now for Lore for the short story collection. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
be sending that out at the end of the week, actually, to some ARC readers.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to sign up, that's on my link tree, which will be posting here soon.
There
Uh,
you go.
so yeah, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to introduce my readers to this dark fantasy world we've created. So it should be fun.
That sounds amazing. I just want to thank you so much for coming on here and telling us today. And I thought it was so amazing and like such a great idea to utilize Dungeons and Dragons as your inspiration to write stories. I was like, ooh, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I mean, I know I've known some writers that like they will like kind of play their own little game to tell kind of to help them outline. And
Right.
I mean, I've always loved the game to begin with, and that's kind of how me and my husband met anyway, and we still play it to this day. And I'm like, okay, wait, we're already telling a story. it is a
Right.
good story. I feel like other people would like to know this story. And so yeah, it's like so I'm adapting it from what like a kind of a improv to an actual like script and then to an actual novel. So it's kind of interesting to see the process, the kind of reverse process from like stage acting to the book. It's interesting.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on here
Thank
today, and make
you.
sure that you give us all of your contact information for the readers
Absolutely.
to be able to get a hold of your work.
Yes, I believe my link tree will be posting over on your page here in a couple minutes. My first giveaway was for one of my other collections, and that's posted on there. And then my second one will just be, yeah, if you guys just follow me on some of my socials and then post screenshots of them, and I will put all your names in a wheel, and one lucky reader will get a signed copy. I'm excited to send it out
Okay.
to somebody.
Okay,
So, yeah.
awesome. So do you want to just take over, or how do you want to do this? Because
No, I think
my eye is tearing up. Just if people wonder why it's because it's tearing
you're
up. So
good.
I'm gonna take a 5 minute.
No, I think I'm good. I think I've got another post or two on your page, and then I will be good to go. I know I'm enjoying interacting with everybody today. I'm excited for the music coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited too. His name is DJ Cool. He's gonna be on later, so at around six
Awesome.
o'clock Central. So
Yeah.
okay, thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna take five because my eyes are watering. Yeah.
Thank you, Kay, for having me. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Let me take 5 minutes. Okay, we are back. It is 3:56 p.m. and we're going to talk a little bit about the authors that just came on. We have already had author Sana Pirzada come on and show us about her two books. And we have also posted the link to her book launch on YouTube in the Facebook page. We have also just had author Megan Russ, and she discussed her book Finding Forgiveness, and her writing process, which I feel is amazing. She utilizes Dungeon and Dragon to get her inspiration for her writing process. And soon later, we will also have Sergeant Williams posting some of his work in the group. And after that, we will also have DJ Cool, who will give us all an hour's time of some really amazing, awesome music. So until then, what I would like to do is try to encourage everybody to sign up for the giveaway. I'm posting the link in the chat again. And if you sign up for this giveaway, when you go to the website, you follow the steps and you can receive a signed copy of The Dragon's Call, which is a book that I published and personally signed. You will get a free copy sent to you if you are the winner of this giveaway. I think that it is really amazing that we've been able to have all of these authors on here. I think that it's really important, especially sometimes readers don't get to be um, sort of exposed to new authors that are just coming onto the scene, and finding new authors that are publishing their own work and, basically writing from their heart. Um, you can get exposed to a variety of new worlds that you might not have found. Sometimes I go to my bookstore and I just see the same old, the same authors, the same books, the same stories. And so that's why I love getting involved with reading indie author books, because they have so much more imagination and variety than what you might find on your general bookstore shelf. So please make sure that you go and check out all of the links from the various authors and check out their books. And we will be continuing in about another 20 to 30 minutes. So please stand by. Okay, we are back. We're going to be having okay, we are back. We're about to have Sergeant William Stevens with us again. So let me add him in here. Hi, can you hear me?
Where were you?
Hi,
Hey,
how you doing?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay. Let's see here. All right.
All right. So thank you for joining us for our Authors Day. I see that you've been supporting all of the authors in the chat, so I thank you very much for that, sir. How is your day going?
It's going wonderful. I'm just sitting here listening to everybody, interesting people talking about different genres of styles of books.
Awesome. Awesome. So, I've had you on the page once before, and we were able to talk about your time in the military, your experience with mental health, the books that you wrote. Is there one book in particular that you would like to showcase today? And if so, which one?
I think the book that's getting the hype is The Broken Mirror right now. Uh, I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag since you already know. That book was nominated for the Eric Hoffer Award.
There you go.
So,
Congratulations.
and I also won, what was it, Independent Impact Book Award for military self-help, self-development category.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
So
do you have a copy with you by any chance so that we can take a look at it?
yeah, so it doesn't have the book awards on it, and it just actually, you know what? I got to take off the virtual background because you can you see that?
It's a little bit, I can see your background. I can't see the book.
Hold on a second. Let me go while I'm talking to you. Take the virtual background off so that you can see my RV. Okay,
There you
I
go.
live in my RV.
There you go. Now I can see it. The Broken Mirror.
So this is the original copies that were came out. So these are the ones I have in my RV. So uh, the book committees are sending me the seals to stick on my books because I give these books away for free out on the road. And
Okay.
then that's the back of the book right there. And it's really glossy. The inside is like your author copy, Blaine. You know, not that if you buy it online, it's super white. You know, but this is like if I'm giving this away, then you'll get a good cover, but the inside is kind of so.
I
But
mean, the best part about the book is the words, right?
oh yeah, I'm sure that's why it was selected. You know, so
Yeah.
I did want to say a couple of things because I didn't know if this was going to be an open forum, and I feel better with you talking to me because I don't want to sit here and people be like, okay, tell us. But I want to ask the readers, whoever's watching, uh, who
It
suffers
looks like
from
we
like
have somebody in the chat named David Alex, and he's saying hi to you. So, yes, you do have somebody watching right now.
okay, nice. So I'd like to ask anybody who's watching, like, who suffers from like mental health or trauma, you know, and that's why I want to start this because like that's what my books are about, like pain, you know, pain that I went through.
Mhm.
So pain that I put my kid, my ex-wife through. So this book right here is like opening Pandora's box, like into reality. So, but I did see on your little advertisement there are a few things that are listed in there. Let me see here. There are a few subject areas because I really don't want to sit here and talk about my book. Um, I wish that you could share the video Is there any way possible you could show the video trailer to my book?
I don't. I could, if you give me the link, I could post it on the page for the readers to go and or the watchers to go and see. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not sure
I
how
don't
to
have
do
a
that
link.
on.
I don't have a link. I have it on YouTube where they can go watch, but I put it already posted it on your page.
Oh,
The
okay.
trailers, the
Right,
video
right,
trailers.
right.
Yeah,
So
because
that's, I don't know how to post them through here. I know how to post them on the page. I'm not
can
that
I
technically savvy. I wish I was.
can I try something here because I think I know how to control this page. So it says present. So I'm looking here. Let's see.
Hmm. Can
Video
you tell us,
file.
can you tell us what the trailer is about?
Yeah, sure. As soon as I find it here. Uh, okay. So the Broken Mirror trailer is about you're in a room of mirrors. So kind of like your mental health is these mirrors, and you're trying to break out of these mirrors. And as you this, I want to say this wizard or whatever it is with a sword is going through the video. It is breaking these mirrors, and there is a cryptic thank you to all the people who have bought my book and sent me pictures. Because I told them I'm going to use your picture someday, but I didn't know
Right.
how I was going to do it. So my I have to give her a shout out. Her name is Evelyn, and the other one is Juliana. So they're kind of like my marketer pushers. Evelyn is the one that created my videos. But anyways, yeah. So it's a cryptic message to all my people that were loyal and bought my books and books that I gave out during the holidays for free. Uh, they gave me a picture, so I sent her all these photos. And in the cryptic glass breaking in the video, you will see these pictures. So I'm going to see if it'll play right now.
Okay.
I think it'll play. Ooh,
I
what's
think
that?
I have to add it to the stage. Oh, look at that.
No, hold on, that's wrong. That's
Oh,
not
is
right.
that wrong?
Remove that. Remove the studio. Hold on. Trying to add the video. Hold on for a second. Present. It should just be a video file. Let me see. Image file. There we go. Hold on a second. Image file. This is so crazy. Let me go back. Whew. One more time. Video file. Okay. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out why. Oh, okay. I see why. Um. Oh wow. So I believe this is it here. This is it right here. This is it. The Broken Mirror trailer right here. I just sent it to you.
Let me see.
In the depths of reflection lies a shattered truth. Picture yourself trapped in a room of mirrors, each reflection echoing depression, anxiety, trauma, and loneliness. PTSD, a life sentence without parole. Breaking your way out, mirror by mirror, confronting the mental and physical scars, the suicidal ideologies, and the demons that forever linger. Every broken reflection is a battle fought, a mental tool for your toolbox, a reminder that even in despair, there's hope, a light waiting.
Did it
Is that
lock up
it?
or something? No, did it lock up or something?
I I don't know.
Okay. Let me
It
see.
should have.
Oh,
A
there
light
There
it
it
goes.
goes.
waiting.
Right? Okay.
No, it locked up.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's
like
locked up.
feeding or something, but I'm hoping that it's going to work here. What's going on here?
It looks like a very interesting trailer, though.
Yeah, the best part is at the end.
So, do you want to
Okay.
tell us, like, how does it, like, what happens to it, or what happens at the end?
It just shows the person breaking out of the mirrors, and all the cryptic glass breaking. You see all my people that bought my book.
I'll try one more time.
Try. I have the Starlink system, and I know it's not on my side. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
We'll take it down. I don't want to lose anybody here, so remove from the stage. Okay, we're back. So yeah, I don't really want to get into my books because like I posted a bunch of stuff online, and I'm trying to look on my phone right now because like you posted something and it caught my eye, so I'm trying to find that right now. So it's the advertisement. I want to pull up the advertisement real quick and read. There's some subject areas that I think that people are interested in. Here we go. So you put down topics included. You know what I'm talking about now? Military to civilian transition, veterans' mental health, PTSD awareness, and writing and healing. So, I like to talk, but I'm not going to talk a lot about these subjects. But the book, The Broken Mirror, is kind of like a transition book from military to civilian. There's also included resume writing, how you change your military stuff to civilian.
Do you have a copy of that one also?
No, that's this book right here.
Oh, okay.
All of that is in here.
Oh, okay.
All of that is in here. That's why this book is so important, because it's kind of like that transitional tool that you can look through to help you get out of the military or transition in life. And then veterans with mental health. I think a lot of veterans get out of the military, or they have some kind of mental PTSD, bipolar, can't be around loud noises and stuff. And I have talked to several veterans who have told me like their transition was terrible. Like even like their family supported them while we're in the military, but like them seeing their family every day, kids yelling and screaming and stuff, and
right.
They start yelling at their families and stuff. So a lot of people have trouble with transitioning. So and then PTSD awareness, like I'm on the road, like fighting for mental health, like interviewing people, helping people, inspiring people for another day. So, like the book is not about royalties. It's about eventually that'll get there, because I don't have my last paycheck for the book was $12.75. Just like the lady said, she got a couple pennies for a book on Amazon.
When I see a couple dollars, I celebrate.
Yeah, so I told my daughter, I was like, "Hey, we got $12.73 going into your account." So, but yeah, I don't care about the money; it goes into her account, and one day, I'll, who knows? Maybe I'll be a finalist or be one of the people that win those 10 awards for the Eric Hopper, and I'll solidify myself as an author, But I'm not going to forget the little people, because all the little people are the ones who helped me all the way. And I would like to shout out, I have a friend who is in the hospital right now watching this. He's incognito, I guess you'll say. He is in the hospital and called me and said, if I'm not there on the video, I will be there in spirit. So Kenny, my heart goes out to you, man. Thanks. So now, I think I said I wanted to do a giveaway. You were saying there were games and giveaways.
Right.
I don't really have a link, so this is the way it's going to work, because your followers or my followers or whatever, and I'm almost at a K. I'm almost there. I'm almost at 1,000 on my 1821 production page, and I've only had that page since May. So, but this book right here, I have 3 of these books. Okay. I'm going to sign them, and then I usually don't write anything inside. I'm going to write something inside. So what's going to happen is and then I have 3 coins. So I have 3 coins too. I have my own challenge coin while I'm out on the road. So I bought my own coin, and that's the original cover to the Broken Mirror. Okay. And it says, Voice of the Voiceless, a mental health journey. There are 2 stars on there for the Mirror and the Broken Mirror books. And then that's the back. My kid told me that I should have a shield, because now the shield's different because I'm trademarked. This is like the original shield that I had. And my kid's like, hey, you should have a shield be like the protector of veterans. So 3 of these, 3 of these. So if someone can drop a cool comment in, and then you'll see who they are, and you'll tell me, and then I'll find out who they are, and I'll FedEx these books to them immediately, or whoever follows me over on my other page to bring me up to a K, because I'm at like 985.
985.
Okay.
Well, why don't you
So
give
I
us
can
your
shoot.
link? Why don't you post your link so that the people watching can follow you? So maybe we can get you to your 1K today.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, let's post that.
Let me see here. Hold on for a second. Maybe I can go here. Let's see. Screen, nope. Image, nope. So I can't post links here because maybe, I don't know. Let me see something. If I go out of this, you could, I was frozen, right?
Yeah, you were frozen. Do you want
Yeah,
to
I
send me,
can't. So
if you want to send me the link, I can post it.
yeah, so what's going to happen is I can see the matrix now that I'm over 500. I can see the last 6 people who joined.
Right.
And if those last 6 people join, this will be free. And these coins aren't cheap. I'm telling you. I got 100 of them, and I've only given out 4 of them while I've been on the road. So I have 3 of them right now that I'm going to give out for free, and I'm going to put a business card. It comes in a little plastic thingy too. So yeah.
Okay.
So
So why don't you, before we wrap up, why don't you send me the link and I'll post it, and then that way we can have people enter your giveaway that way so that they can get a chance to get your book and the coin, and
cool.
also
Okay. Well,
get you
the
up to 1K.
3
So
coins, 3 books. So there's 6 people that are going to be lucky winners.
there you go.
So, but I would also like to give a shout out to TSS Printing. They did my embroidering on my shirts for my podcast. And I do have a podcast for anybody that wants to be on it called The Voice of the Voices, Voices of the Voiceless. So anybody out there that's suffering in trauma and want to tell their story, come.
There you
And
go.
I just want to say congratulations. I didn't know that you were a published author. I went and looked at your books today. I was like, wow, she wrote a lot
Oh,
of
thank
books.
you.
So
Thank you.
yeah, so yeah. But I appreciate it. I just want to thank you for having me on this author forum spotlight. And I'm looking forward to watching the other ones and jam out the DJ Slick Rock. I don't know his name, but I had watched
DJ
him play
Cool.
some music. DJ Cool. I watched him play some music one night, and he's probably wondering who this guy is. Like asking him questions. I was asking where you were, and he's like, "You're out of the studio right now." So I guess he was live playing music. So I like that kind of stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah. He's got some amazing music. He's actually really big on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay.
So I was really lucky to get, to get him on here today. I'm super excited.
Is he closing out your show?
Yeah, he's closing out the show. He's going to be on from 6 p.m. Central until 7 for an hour. So we're all going to
Oh
celebrate,
wow.
and I'll probably be snacking and listening to some really good music while he comes on. So
House party. House party.
there you go. The best kind of house
So, but
party
yeah.
at home.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank everybody who's following me, and last but not least, I'd like to thank the Eric Hoffer Committee for like even remotely even thinking of my book. So keep your fingers crossed. The last of the judging is at the end of this month. So even if I become a recipient, I think my head will get about this big. So
I mean, you put
yeah,
a lot of work into that book. I actually wanted to ask you about the book cover. Like who did you find to do your book cover? Because it's very nice.
nobody,
Nobody.
nobody.
You did
Well,
it?
that's the original cover right there. That little
Oh,
guy.
uh-huh.
So so I can go back real quick. Do you remember the mirror had my image in it, right?
Right, right.
That's me right there, walking to heaven for my dad. And then this little guy in here is the little corporate guy of me when I worked for the corporate government, like the civilian government. And that's kind of like my blue aura. We all have our aura. Okay. So then I developed this. So my publisher came back and said, well, there's no broken glass in the aura. Where's the broken mirror? So they sent me different versions of broken glass. And then I went on Canva, hint, hint, and what's it called? Transparent. And I had to make it transparent. So I do everything myself. So what I'm looking for is a marketer. So I've done both covers. This was done. So this is not the original cover. Now on whatchamacallit, this is the hardback. But I'm now transitioning back to my original covers because some people are getting confused. They think that the different covers are different series.
Oh, okay.
So they're getting confused. So I'm going back. And like I said, this one here over here, the Broken Mirror is the original cover. So I just got done posting it on Kindle with the book awards on it. And then I just redid the cover. So I did everything myself. And three people I want to thank is Terry Berger. It took him 80 hours because I put the word like in my book a lot. Because when I talk to my phone, the word like comes out all the time. So he said there was like 80,000 likes in my book. So
Oh, no.
Terry Berger, he's 75. He was the editor of my book. He has 39 years of editorial experience. TJ Moffat, he did the foreword. And John Hall, he did the preface. So I believe any author out there, I don't think an author should introduce themselves. I think credible people should introduce them.
Right.
And these guys are credible veterans that are highly decorated. One is a Purple Heart recipient. The other one has some Bronze Stars and a Superior Service Award for being like 30 years in the military. So yeah, and they're very credible people. And I think for TJ, he was like overseas, deployed somewhere, doing some civilian stuff, and he took my book and made it into a manuscript, like into a book format, and sent it back to me and said, because Terry's wife had a heart attack while he was editing my book.
Wow.
And he stopped, and I sent it to TJ, and TJ took it, was in a meeting, left, went in his hotel room, jammed it up, and sent it to me from another country. And well, he's American, but he was, overseas, and he made this thing, and I sent it to my publisher, and they were like, "Do you want to?" I'm like, "It don't need edited, it don't need formatted." I mean, like I have big pictures of myself on things in the book, and he like made them small because it was like 200 and some pages, and he converted it down into like 140 pages, just with the
Wow.
pictures and everything, like the formatting and all that. So I could never do that. So I didn't pay none of these guys. They're all credible people that I work with through the government and in the military. And then, I just thank everybody that was on the journey with me, because this all started in May when I started talking to my phone. Because I'm not like, I can't write because I have tremors in this hand right here. Okay, from medication use, long-term medication use that I wrote about in both books that people should know. You should know what medication you're being pumped in from the VA, being like a zombie. But I talked to my phone, and the notes came out on my phone, and I didn't have chapters. I have entries. I listened to a bunch of crazy music while I was writing and talking to my phone. I tried to edit it myself, and I sent it to Terry. And because he did it for free, I gave him the first copy that was published. And Terry wrote a story that's in the book, but I kind of manipulated because I didn't want to do like a plagiarism. He wrote one of the coolest stories in that book called A Change of War. And that talks about me coming back from Walter Reed and dealing with my family, because he told me when I presented my book to him before I left, he said, when he interviewed me, he feared me. He was scared of me.
Really?
And then he disclosed in the editorial that I wrote up on him that he was suffering from PTSD. So he, in the military, when he was in, and I didn't even know he was in the military until I gave him a copy of my book. We sat down for breakfast, and he told me, I was like, hey, thank you. You made it happen. The vision is now reality. So May and now, yeah. So, but yeah, and they're both reviewed by the U.S. Book Review. So, and they're
Oh,
really good reviews. So I can give you the links so people can go and see like credible reviews, like by real people, like real academic people that have knowledge on book reading reviews. So, but
okay.
yeah,
You know what? I'm so glad that you came back to join us again for Authors Day, and I want to make sure that you remember that on the page we need to get all of your links, your posts, especially for your giveaway. So as we close out, let's make sure that we get that. This particular live has gone for an hour and a half, and I want to make sure it's not too long because otherwise it'll be maybe a bit long for people to rewatch. So we're going to close out this one and then come back. A little bit before the DJ, but during that time we're going to be posting the giveaways and the links in the
were we actually on for an hour and 30 minutes?
I've been on for not you and me specifically.
Oh, I was going to say, because you've
Yeah,
been
no.
on Facebook Live and you came on StreamYard to talk to me.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I've this live, including you, but the other two authors, it has been an hour and a half, and I don't want it to get too long because it'll be too long to
And then
rewatch.
there's another author after me than the DJ guy.
So then there'll be a short delay, and then I'll come
Okay.
back on and talk about, the events that have happened, the giveaway today, and then introduce the DJ. And the DJ will start at 6 o'clock.
All right. Now turn it up in my RV and turn on the
Make
dance
sure,
lights and
make sure,
got the
right.
neon lights back there going already. So we'll have a dance party up in here, me and the dog and
There
cat.
you go. I'm gonna go grab my snacks and my little pina colada and enjoy myself while the music goes.
Thanks, all the veterans. Remember 22 a day.
All right, take care. And make sure to post your links
I will on your page or in the chat.
on the page.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right.
Wow. See ya.